it's finally starting to let me record videos on YouTube. So I'm going to do that. Today I'm going to be talking about worrying. You've seen the scriptures, you probably know them better than I do about what to do whenever you start to worry and how to face this. The Israelites, whenever they were in no man's land slash the desert, were worried all the time. And that worrying led to them doubting God, and that doubt led to complaint as well. They were complaining, they were worrywarts, all these other things. And a lot of people can judge the Israelites for this. But if you got put in a situation to where you're only eating nothing but, let's just say, donuts, you get 2 donuts that are decently sized, 3 donuts per day. And that's all you get. You have to make the donuts yourself. You have to do all this other stuff yourself. And you really want something besides donuts after 3 days. Because donuts are good, but if you eat them and that's all you're eating, you get tired of it. The same can be said about whenever you hear the same messages in churches over and over and over again. They're good, but if you have it every day, sometimes you get tired of it and you want to have more in general. Whenever, for me, this is the one that I'm the worst with. Whenever it comes down to money, I see what others have, and it's not to check to make sure that they're good, it's check to see how far I am behind, or how far behind I look. Because I'm looking at other people in their life where they didn't have to go through the same things as me. Their starting point, to my eyes, looked easier. They have their own career, they have their own thing, they have their own trials, but they had certain things easier. Or it felt like they can get through certain challenges way easier than I could. Or how come I'm struggling with this? How come they don't have to struggle with this? How come this is my cross to carry? Their cross looks lighter in my eyes. Why does their cross feel smaller? Why do they get to do certain things but I can't? How come they get that amount of money and they get to waste it but I don't? Or whenever I do, I get punished more for? How come I had these responsibilities at a young age and they didn't? That is something that can get to a lot of people. I know it can get to a lot of people because it got to me. And I try my best not to envy my friends, but sometimes you do. Whenever I wasn't in a relationship and they were, envy. How come they're in a relationship and I don't be? What did I do wrong to where I don't get to have that relationship? Whenever I just got in the relationship, how come these people are getting married so soon and I don't get to be married just yet? You can see, the list goes on forever. You'll never have enough things to complain about. There will always be something more. You can literally complain about how other people complain while you're doing the exact same thing. It's actually one of the craziest things is that whenever somebody else complains, I think most people try to one-up them nowadays. Oh, you have to deal with that? Oh, I have to deal with this. Oh, you only got that much sleep? I get way less more sleep than you. And it's so easy to get stuck in that spiral. It's a downward spiral, that's what it is. Of you complaining. And the Israelites did the exact same thing. Except they did it with not only basic necessities, they did it with even the miracles that they saw God do. Manna from heaven was a miracle. That was something never seen before. that was the first time, and I believe the last time, manna came from heaven, was with the Israelites. Those 40 years in the desert of them just getting to know who God's character is. And they complained. They had the chance to meet God. Not like meet God face to face, but like to hear Him, to hear His presence, to do all this other stuff. Because the only reason why they didn't was because they were scared. Because they were worried. And it's not like we're saying that they didn't have a right to be worried. And I'm not saying that you don't have the right to be worried. Or that in your eyes that you don't have the right to complain. Because times are hard. Times can be very hard for people. I know for me, I was struggling finding a job. Thank God that He provided a job. Literally, I was crying in prayer because I did not have a place to work. And then the first thing that happened whenever I got the opportunity to work that job, my first thought was to complain. Oh, how come I only get scraps and they get this other thing? So don't think I'm not calling myself out with this. I'm 100% calling myself out with this. That my first thought was to thank God, complain 5 seconds after, and then get angry with God that, oh, why did I only get this and these people get this other thing? And the other thing ain't that good either. But I wanted something that was like more. And that is the human desire to always want more. And Adam and Eve, they had perfect conditions, perfect work environment, perfect. Like money was taken care of because money wasn't a thing. Their lives were taken care of because all they had to do was just work and have each other. God made it perfect. God looked at creation and said it was good. He was done. He just said, hey, all I have is do not touch this one thing. That is it. Adam was there when even Eve picked the apple and the devil deceived her and said that you would not die. And then time came. They got their punishment. They blamed each other. They did all these other things. And then now we're stuck in a mess. Israelites, because of how much they complained, they got quail, meat. And anybody who ate that meat died. Anybody who was too scared to go into the promised land died. They did not get to see God's promise. You will see this over and over in the Bible, where people do not get to see God's promise all the way through. And they're never sure if Israel ever conquered the whole promised land, like God told them to. God told them to make sure that they don't mix with any of the women, and that they just stay themselves, and they will have the land. But in, I don't want to say theology, but in like the way that it's mapped out, we're never sure if they actually conquer all of Israel is supposed to have. The promise was fulfilled. God did everything that He said He was going to do. But how much are you willing to put into that promise? How much faith are you willing to put into that promise? Because faith without works is dead. This is something that is told over and over and over again. And if you have faith in God, you have to take those steps of faith, no matter how scary they are. I'm not saying that not taking a step of faith is a salvation issue. Saying taking a step of faith shows God you're scared, but you're still doing it. You're worried, but you're giving that worry to Him and hoping that He will take care of you. The verse that I'm about to show you is one that most already know, but I'm going to read it out loud for you.